prendre la route de l'aventure. Ah, monsieur le président, un pauvre qui vote pour celui qui l'a rendu pauvre. Si on était bien au pays, est-ce qu'on allait prendre la route de l'étranger? Ah, monsieur le président, à l'Assemblée, il y a un vieux. Vraiment. Au Sénat, il y a un vieux. Wonderful. À la présidence, il y a un vieux. Dans tout le gouvernement, il n'y a que des vieux. Des vieux, des vieux. Des gens prennent le chemin de la Libye pour devenir des esclavos. Les gens prennent la route du désert pour entrer en Europe. Happy Friday to the beautiful people of the Cameroons. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a party political broadcast by myself, Maître Mola Alex Ndiveli Singer, the leader of British Cameroon National Party. Once more, I want to send my congratulations to the President of La République du Cameroun, Mr. Biya. And we of British Southern Cameroon, we have made it clear that we have triggered Article 65 of the Constitution of La République du Cameroun, the right to self-determination. We don't want France to be controlling us. La République du Cameroun surrendered their sovereignty and independence in 1959 to France. British Southern Cameroon was not part of that agreement. That is why La République du Cameroun is not a sovereign or independent country, because they are not free to make their own money. France controls their monetary policy. They don't have a central bank. The central bank of La République du Cameroun is Banque de la France. So you cannot be a sovereign country when you don't have a heart, because monetary policy is about the heart of a country. We have seen people who have come, they call themselves presidential candidates. They did not address the issue about central bank monetary policy because they know France is the one controlling La République du Cameroun. We have never imposed our English inherited institutions to La République du Cameroun, but they have been imposing their ENAM, ENS, gendarmerie, military tribunal, Napoleonic Code, you name the rest, they have been imposing it on us. We came together as equal status. We could have lived together side by side, like Scotland and England, Wales and Northern Ireland. 4 countries came together. Nobody have changed another person's name. Mr. Biya seceded in 1984 by changing the name, by reverting to their name when La République had its independent La République du Cameroun. They annexed us. They don't want us to exist. They don't want us to use our own institution. However, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here today to talk about what next after the election or in La République du Cameroun, because people always come and distract us. It is very important to know something before you do it. Each time people look at me, oh, Maître Mola Alex Ndiveli Singer is controversial because I say things differently. I look at what will happen. I don't look at illusion, fiction. Things have changed. We'll win the election. Anglophone candidate. I don't do that because I was born in that system and I watch it. I know what will happen. I don't just come from nowhere and start singing the song. To be honest, even Mr. Biya hasn't got power. That's a fact. Most of us, we say, oh, Biya have done this, Biya have got no power. I'll tell you what next. And I'll use an example, what happened to Gabon when Gabon just had its independence. That's what will happen to the Cameroons. There are two options. But I want to tell you what is going on now behind the scene. What will happen in the Cameroons. There are two options. Either what happened recently in Gabon, but I want to tell you what they are planning behind the scene. I know a lot of people have worked with La Republique du Cameroun. I've never worked with them, but I happen to be close with people who were at the heart of the government when I was growing up, so I know how they operate. I've done my own individual research. I want to tell you what will happen next. They're already planning it. I knew that long ago. They tried it before. It did not work. They tried to do it. Was it last year or on that 2 years? What I'm about to say, that's what they're doing. Some of you see, election will change president. Listen, election in Cameroon are a window dressing exercise. France and European Union, they pull the string, including America. Some of you are surprised, international committee. Biya is the best president to the international committee. Biya is the best president, I repeat. The entire international committee, they love Mr. Biya. Why? Because it's a diamond, take it. Gold, take it. Timber, take it. Cotton, take it. Bauxite, it doesn't disturb them. The Cameroons, the Western countries, they are still controlling the natural resources in the Cameroons as if they are still the colonial power. Mr. Biya is disturbing them. So they love Mr. Biya. That is the type of president Western countries they love. They don't love the Gaddafi, Saddam Hussein, Venezuela president, North Korea president. They like poodles. They like puppet. Mr. Biya is one of the best presidential, best president rather, in the whole of Africa. They love those type of people. When they said we had the so-called independence, they wanted people like that. There were a lot of them in Africa, poodles. So when they are there, colonialism still continues. I don't even call it, it's not even neo-imperialism. It's imperialism. We don't have a say in that country. Mr. Biya was appointed after President Ahidjo. So I want to tell you what's happening. It has happened before. It happened in the early 60s in Gabon. Okay, what happened? The first president of Gabon was called Léon M'bah. Léon M'bah. The first president. At some stage in time, there was a coup d'etat. They removed him. France came again with forced cooperation agreement, keep the people angry. Reinstead Léon M'bah. So what I want to say, how is it related to the Cameroons? Mr. Léon M'bah came to power, and in 1966, he was terminally ill of cancer. He knew he was going to die. So France informed Mr. Léon M'bah, the then president of Gabon, you need to change the constitution to ensure a smooth succession. You need to change the constitution. Create the post of a vice president. And when you create that position, there's not going to be any election. In case there's a vacancy, the vice president will constitutionally replace you. So, the person who was supposed to replace Mr. Léon M'bah, the first president of Gabon, was who? Albert Benan Bongo, later Omar Bongo Ondimba. But however, President Léon M'bah was hesitant. He was reluctant to appoint Omar Bongo. But after much convincing from France, I'm sure most of you have heard this name, those of you who love history, Jacques Foccart, Charles de Gaulle's advisor of Africa affair, vetted Omar Bongo then in Paris. Vetted, look your CV, he knows this man is another poodle, is another puppet, they veto him. So they convinced President Léon M'bah that you should make sure they persuaded the ailing president. Take note, he was terminally, he was dying, to make sure that Ali Bongo should be the vice president. At the end of the day, after persuading President Léon M'bah, he changed the constitution in February 1967, changed the constitution, created the post of a vice president, and made sure that if there is a presidential vacancy, Ali Bongo, Albert Bernard Bongo, Omar Bongo will take over automatically. That's what they did. That's what they did. In March 1967, M'bah and Bongo, they stood for a single ticket for presidential election. They won. That's what March. And in November 1967, M'bah died in Paris, and Omar Bongo took over automatically without any election, because they made sure that they changed the constitution to bypass any potential rival. So that's what happened. And that's what they are thinking to do in the Cameroons. But Cameroons is more complicated because of the Anglophones. Because if they create the position of a vice president, if they create that position, they will say, oh, let's give it to the Anglophone. But they are playing a game. They are thinking about having more than one vice president. So they will put an Anglophone vice president, put another vice president. Then they make sure that the vice president that will automatically take over is the choice of France, which it could be Frambia, it could be Ngongo. So that's the game. They can say, give the post for 1, 2, 3 vice president, Anglophone is there. Then they will say, oh, Anglophone is there too. But the person who will take over, it wouldn't be an Anglophone. So that's the game. So when we sit in Cameroons, we should understand how the system works. Because if we think it's just about Mr. Bia, it's about Ngongo family, no, it's not true. It's still Rio dos Cameros, the Portuguese sugar plantation, the German slave plantation, the French, they call it trustee, French and British plantation. They were there to extract your resources. Article 76 sub B of the United Nations Charter says, countries who are not able to govern themselves. When we had the Fon of Bali, we had the Sultan, we had Lamido, we have the son of Saul. So United Nations is another scam. So people should watch out. You should think outside the box. And if you think, most of you, oh, go and fight, go and do this, me, I made up my mind ever since I was a boy to fight for equal status for Anglophone, British Southern Cameroon, because I knew La Republique is a sham. Even Minister Issa Chiruma, even if he was a president, he wouldn't be able to give you the powers you want. The only way is trigger Article 65 and let's leave. Because for the next 50 years, La Republique cannot stop France from manufacturing its money. La Republique cannot stop France from controlling its socio-political orientation. La Republique du Cameroun cannot stop France to control their educational system at all levels. You see, we don't have official opposition in the Cameroons. It's impossible because these people don't want us to have it. Ladies and gentlemen, we can come and talk about hopes and aspiration, but there's reality. There's reality. There's something that's reality. Sometimes when I come and talk as a leader of British Cameroon National Party, I have my wish. I'm not talking about what I wish. I'm telling you the reality. In my profession, and in many other professions, if you're a medical doctor, you're a lawyer, when you want to do something, you do your research, you look both sides, then you come to a conclusion. You don't just come, this is my wish. I wish an Anglophone president. How is the mechanism when France doesn't want an Anglophone there? I wish Chiruma should be president. How can he be president in FranceAfrique when France have not endorsed Chiruma? So sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, philosophy, history, law, and other things, they are good. When you want to make a judgment, people always want us to follow the crowd. I keep on saying, those who follow the crowd do not go further than the crowd. All the things that I always say comes to pass. You might look at me, there's a crowd. I don't follow the crowd. What I have been saying ever since I was a boy, a teenager, have come to pass. That's how you judge a person. Most people, we don't have the same knowledge. We don't have the same brain. We don't have the same thing to analyze things. I went to school, I was taught with a lot of professors. I saw some of my lecturers today. To me, if they should teach me today, I would never attend their classes. Because some of them, they don't seem to have brain. The difference today, as a leader of British Cameroon National Party, I've realized, yes, there's classroom. Because you went to classroom, they taught you A, B, C, D. It doesn't mean you don't have to use your own brain and think outside the box. Most people who are genius, most people who are creative, most people who are wonderful, is it Albert Einstein that say, if you use logic, you go to A to Z. But if you use your mind, you're a great thinker. As a great thinker, you can go anywhere. So most people like to use logic, what they taught you in school, A to Z. You go from A to N to Z. But they don't go further than that. That's what we should be thinking about. We of British Cameroon National Party, we don't just believe to be making up jump as you go, jumping bandwagon. We stand, we have policies. We believe in certain things. And we have conviction. We have probity. What happened in Gabon between Léon M'bah and Ali Bongo, that's what they are planning, so that it should happen in La Republique du Cameroun that have annexed British Southern Cameroon. In British Cameroon National Party, we believe we can use the legal means in La Republique, their constitution, which says we have a right to self-determination. In South Africa, you have Cape Zit Party, the referendum. They created a political party using section 235 of their constitution. Nobody is beating them. Nobody is saying they are secessionists. Nobody is saying they want independent, because you follow legal means. If you have a legal means to challenge La Republique du Cameroun and come out from this unholy union with them, why do you use guns? I don't believe in guns. I believe politics is alternative to war. That's what I believe. I believe. And ever since, if you look at my history, the position that I've often stood, people always look at it, oh, this man like this. But at the end of the day, they will come back to my position. That's the difference. That's maturity. And that's why, when I was growing up, most of my friends, they were like Mr. Bia's age. I spent a lot of time with old people. That's why I have wisdom. That's why I don't think my age, because it's very important. Most people, they should try and understand how FranceAfrique works. People say Cameroon is a sovereign nation, it's independent. Sovereignty means supreme authority, supreme to decide on what you want. In the Cameroons, the Biya government, they cannot. Nobody elected them. They just came there. Mr. Biya was appointed after Ahijo. That's how he came to power. Nobody elected him. And all these elections that we have been seeing are sham. So sometimes the strategy will be to focus on France, focus on those companies that they are using our resources. To bring change, we must focus our fight to this company. We look at the directors, we look at this company, we write to the directors. That's what we should be doing now, ladies and gentlemen. We have a new strategy come 2026. The pen is mightier than the bullet. We are going to be using our pen to challenge these people. That is our bullet. Pen, paper is greater than the bullet. All these things people fight, they do this, do this. I told you people long ago, it will end up what? It ended up with what? Kidnapping for ransom. The people kidnap their own people, and I call them is criminality. If you kidnap your person, you're a criminal. I believe politics is ideology. I know FranceAfrique is still there, but there is a way when we focus on what British Cameroon National Party stands for. There's no need to be jumping. When it's Pamuna, you jump. Ikafundi, you jump. Kamto, you jump. Chuma, jump. What do you stand for? What do you stand for? Be the change you want to see. And British Cameroon National Party have come to bring that change. So ladies and gentlemen, once more, this has been a party political broadcast by myself, Maitre Mola Alex Ndive Lisinge, the leader of British Cameroon National Party. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you very much.
Si on était bien au pays, est-ce qu'on allait prendre la route de l'aventure? Ah, monsieur le président, un pauvre qui vote pour celui qui l'a rendu pauvre. Si on était bien au pays,